Greetings, this is Madam Florence Kavambi once again taking you, my dear learner, through the topic Introduction to Management. This is one of the core topic in the principles of management. Be with me from the beginning to the end. Welcome. Good. What is management? We can see that management is how businesses organize and direct workflow, operations, and employees to meet the company goals. The objective as to why we are always interested in management is so that we can be able to create an environment that empower employees so that they can work efficiently and productively. In one way or the other, everyone has come across the term management. What is management? We all aspire to be managers even in our various careers. What is management? Simply, we can say that management is the art of getting things done through people. That is according to Mary Follett. Management is the art of getting work done through people. The other definition by Frederick Taylor is that management is knowing exactly what you want men to do and then seeing that they do it the best and in the cheapest ways. We can also say that management is the process by which a cooperative group directs actions towards the common goals. What are the other definitions of management? Basically, management is the process of coordinating the efforts of an organization towards accomplishing a particular goal. In management, we coordinate and we integrate all the efforts of the employees in an organization so that they can work towards accomplishing that one common goal. We can say that management is everywhere. In all what we do, in all types of organizations, always there is a management. And anytime people work to achieve a goal, they are engaged in management. Therefore, we can trace management way back. Even during those times of the ancient Egypt, during those periods of Mesoamerica, we can say that management is an old discipline. In today's organizations, all types of organization, whether a social organization, a political organization, an economic entity, name all of them, they need management. And whenever people talk about management, they may be referring to very different aspects. They may be talking about the people who are the managers, that is especially those who are in the strategic positions or in the top management, e.g. the president, the CEO, or sometimes they may be referring to the activities and the functions of an organization. But all in all, management is important, and management is always the art, it can be the science of getting work done through people in organization with the objective of accomplishing that common goal. So now we discuss the nature or the characteristic of management. We have already said that management is the art of getting things done through people. And once we learn the nature or the characteristic of management, it will help the learner to be in a position to conceptualize this particular term in a more elaborate manner. So, number one, we said that management is an activity. It is normally an activity that is performed by a group of people because it will involve this group of people performing a number of activities. The functions of management can only be executed when every individual performs his or her role or their respective status and department. So, management will always involve a number of activities or duties that are supposed to be performed by every member of the department or group so that we can be able to accomplish the objective. The other characteristic, management is getting things done. From the definition, we have said that management is the art of getting work done through people. So if you are a manager, you must make sure you are able to influence people to work. Management involves decision making. It involves a decision making whereby the managers are expected to choose among the various alternatives. Then the other characteristic is that management is a dynamic function. Why do we say it is a dynamic function? Because there are different internal and external factors that affect the working of an organization. Therefore, an organization has to change and adapt itself on the basis of the changing environment. You are all aware that every business operates in a dynamic environment. The other characteristic is that management is an intangible force. We cannot touch it. We cannot see it, but we can feel the presence of management. We can feel the presence of management. That is why we are able to differentiate between the well-managed organizations from those others, because we can feel its effect. The other function is that management is a universal activity. What do we mean? Management is required in all types of organizations, whether a profit-making organization, whether an non-governmental organization, or even a government parastatal. So it's required in all types of organizations and at all levels of the organization. Management is an integrating process. Management is able to integrate the working of the entire organization. Remember, in organizations we have various departments, various sectors, but when there is proper management, they are able to coordinate to coordinate the work of each and every department so that they can be able to accomplish that one common objective. The other characteristic is that management is a continuous process. This means that management is a process of business management. Business management has to go through as long as the company exists. Management will always involve the 5 main functions of management, which is planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. Finally, we can say that management is multidimensional. Management is a multidimensional process in that it does not involve only one activity, but it will always involve the activities of the management of the work, the management of the people, and also the management of operations. I repeat again, management is a multidimensional function. It is a multidimensional function or a process in that it involves management of work, there's management of people, and also there is the management of operations. Therefore, it has a multidimensional aspect. You can say that the managers, they are the people who are involved in implementing and evaluating the management structures. As a manager of a given organization, you may be responsible for doing or for carrying out a number of tasks in the organization, maybe like creating the goals and objectives, maybe creating the schedules, developing the strategies to increase the performance, things like resolving customer problems, you mentor employees, you monitor budgets. Remember, we have already said that management is a multi-dimensional process, but it will involve the management of work, the management of people, and also the management of operations. So that is a broad scope. It tells you that you can either be a manager, HR manager, who is in charge of managing employees. You can be a manager who will manage the work, in charge of work, or you can be a manager in charge of the various operations of the organization. But all of you are managers. Still a continuation on the nature or characteristic of management. We are saying that management is concerned with the direction and the control. Through management, we are able to identify the goals and the objectives that need to be accomplished by the organization. Therefore, we are able to identify the direction that the organization would want to take. Management is intangible. I have already explained that we cannot touch, we cannot see management, but we can feel the difference between good management and the bad management. Management is both a science and an art. It is a science because it is normally guided on some principles that have been tested over a period of time. And also management is an art because it requires our own specialized creativity and our own personalized skills so that we can be effective managers. Management is an interdisciplinary approach. It is an interdisciplinary approach because it has borrowed from the art subject and also the science subject. Management is dynamic and not static. Reason: organizations operate in dynamic environments. And so because the environment that the business is operating in is dynamic, therefore, as we make our decisions or plans as managers, we also need to be flexible. We also need to adjust them so that they can fit into the changing needs of the environment. Management is a profession. It is a profession just like any other. Nowadays, management has code of conduct, and so it should be reckoned also to be a profession, and it has its own rules and regulations that nowadays are guiding managers. We have core functional areas of managers. These are the broad areas of management. Number one, it is the production management. The production function is always to produce the right goods in the right quantity at the right time and at the right cost. That deals with the production management. That has to deal with making sure we have the right product at the right time, in the right quantity, and even also at the right cost. The second functional area of management is the marketing management. Marketing, whenever you come across the word marketing, always refer, it has to do with identification of the consumer needs and supplying them with the goods and the services that can satisfy those wants. Marketing is all about customer satisfaction. And for you to satisfy the customer, it means that you have identified the needs and the wants of customers through a market research, and then you come up with a product that will meet their needs. The third functional area of management is the financial management. The financial management. With the financial management, we seek to ensure the right amount and the type of funds for business at the right time and at a reasonable cost. For the business to continue in operations, it requires to have the financial stability. The fourth functional area of management is the personnel management. Nowadays, that is what we call the human resource management. The human resource management or the personnel management will involve the planning, organizing, directing, and controlling the procurement, development, compensation, maintenance, of the human resource in an enterprise. So that you can be successful in a business organization, you must also plan for your human resource. Make sure that you have the appropriate type of human resource, because they are the ones who bring their expertise, their creativity in this particular organization. What are the core functions of management? These particular functions of management, they are universal and they are performed by all managers, regardless of the level that the manager is in. That is why we are calling them the universal. They are universal functions of management. The first function is planning. What is planning? Planning is the process of looking ahead and preparing for the future. Whenever we are planning, it means that we are chalking our way out for the future. We start by identifying the objective or the goal that the company would want to accomplish. Then after that, you need to come up with a plan. A plan is a blueprint of what you are going to do so that you can accomplish your end result. So planning is the first function of management. We want to prepare, we want to foresee the future of the business. So we need to come up with the plan. The second function of management is organizing. What is organizing? Organizing is the process of assembling and assigning the human, the financial, the physical, the informational, and the other resources needed to achieve the goals. Organizing is the process of putting everything in order that is required so that you can be able to achieve the objective of the organization. The third function is the staffing. What is staffing? It is the process of hiring and developing the required personnel to fill in the various positions in the organization. In a simple, whenever you come across the word staffing, remember, it is the process of hiring the right person for the right job. In fact, we say, if you want to be successful in any business, you must make sure you are able to match the job requirement with the human resource requirement. Make sure you bring on board the right employee for the right job. The fourth function of management is directing. What is directing? This is the process of motivating, communicating, instructing, leading, and supervising employees to ensure that they are working towards the accomplishment of the organizational goals. In simple, what is directing? Directing is the process of influencing, inspiring the employees of an organization so that they can work towards accomplishing a certain goal. You as a manager, it is your responsibility to ensure that you direct or you inspire or you influence the employees so that they can work towards accomplishing the desired goal. So how do you influence? How do you inspire them? How you can use your think of your motivation strategies, think of how you communicate, and even think of the kind of leadership style that you use so that you can make these employees work towards accomplishing the organizational goals. The fifth function of management is controlling. What is controlling? The manager must ensure that everything occurs in conformity with the plans adopted so that they can successfully achieve their objective. What is controlling? Controlling is the process. It is the process of ensuring that whatever is being done, whatever is being implemented in that organization, it is as per the plans. So that is why we are saying we conform to the laid down plans. Therefore, we can agree that controlling cannot take place without planning. Because when are we controlling? We control the plans. Controlling is the process of ensuring that whatever is being implemented is as per the plans. It conforms to the plans. Therefore, controlling is very important so that we can ensure that our plans are implemented. The plans of the organization are implemented. Those are the 5 main functions of management. And I repeat again, they must be performed by all managers in all the levels of the organization. The management levels. We have 3 management levels. The top level, the middle level, and the lower level. What are these management levels? The management levels will refer to a line of demarcation between the various managerial positions in an organization. For you to understand this well, I want you to think of a triangle. At the top, at the apex of the triangle, that is where it is narrow. And now that is where we have the top management. At the middle of the triangle, that is where we have the middle level managers. Then at the bottom of the triangle, where it is wide, that is where we have the lower level managers. The lower level managers. The top managers, it is good you note this, the top managers make the strategic decisions or the long-term decisions. The top managers are the ones who have the ultimate source of authority, and they are the ones who make the goals and the policies for an enterprise. Remember, they are the ones who make the strategic decisions. And I've told you the strategic decisions are the long-term decisions. They are the decisions which concern what is our business. Then the mid-level managers, these ones, they are the branch managers or the departmental managers. Basically, they are the middle-level managers. Their responsibility is to ensure that they come up with the tactics that they are going to use to implement the strategic decisions, and at the same time, they offer oversight on the performance of the lower level managers. The middle level managers, they make the tactical decisions which are intermediate in nature. And I've already said they have 2 responsibilities. One, they are mandated to come up with tactics on how they're going to implement the strategic decisions, and also they offer oversight on the performance of the lower level managers. At the bottom of the triangle, I've said that is where we have the lower level managers. The lower level managers are also known as the first line managers. Basically, those are the supervisors. The lower level managers is composed of the managers who are in charge of the subordinates. These ones, the lower level managers, they make the short-term decisions. They make the short-term decisions. It may be the day-to-day decisions because they are the ones who are in charge of the subordinates. Good. Now we analyze whether management is a science. That is why we have a subheading on management as a science. We start by asking ourselves, what is a science? When is a discipline referred to as a science? Science is a systematic body of knowledge pertaining to a specific field of study that contains general facts which explain a phenomena. we can say that it establishes a cause and effect relationship between two or more variables and underlines the principle governing their relationships. So, science is characterized by a number of characteristics which are, number one, universally accepted principles. The scientific principles will represent the basic truth about a particular field of inquiry. Maybe I can say that these principles may be applied in all situations, at all times, and at all places. Like the law of gravity, it can be applied in all countries, irrespective of the time. Management also, it has some fundamental principles which can be applied universally in all organizations. We have the principle of unity of command. We have the principle of the chain of command. So those particular principles are applicable in all types of organizations. Then the second characteristic is the experimentation and observation. We know that the scientific principles are derived normally through the scientific investigation or researching. The scientific principles are normally based on logic, like the principle that the earth goes around the sun has been scientifically proven. It is something that you can prove beyond any reasonable doubt. The principle that the earth will always rotate around the sun. So the management principles also, they are based on scientific inquiry and observation, and not only on the opinion of Henry Fayol, they have also been developed through experiment and practice. So we can also say that management is a science. The third principle characteristic is the cause and effect relationship. The principles of science lay down the cause and effect relationship between variables. I give an example, like when you know anything metallic, when it is heated, they expand. The cause is heating will always result in expansion. When you do this, what is the effect? When you do this, what is the effect? In an organization setup, when there is maybe something like lack of balance between the authority and the responsibility, what will be the effect? When you give someone responsibility and no authority, what is the effect? Then the characteristic number 4, it is the test of validity and predictability. The validity of scientific principles can be tested at any time or any number of times. I repeat again, the validity of the scientific principles can be tested at any time, or any number of times, meaning they stand the test of time. What do we mean by that? Each time you carry out a test and you repeat it again and again and again, it will give the same result. That is the test of validity and predictability. Each time you carry out a test, you are able to get the same answer. So the principles of management can also be tested for validity. Like maybe the principle of unity of command. It can be tested by comparing two persons, one having a single boss and the other one having two bosses. So you realize that the performance of the first person will be better than the performance of the second person. So because of this characteristic, we can argue, is management really a science? Yes. Management, it is a science based on this characteristic. But again, we can say it is not as exact science as the physical sciences, because here we are dealing with the people who who have different behaviors, and these behaviors are difficult to predict. And that is why we always argue and say that management is not a pure science, but it is an inexact science. Management as an art. What is an art? An art implies application of knowledge and skills to trying about the desired results. An art may be defined as a personalized application of general theoretical principles for achieving best possible result. What is an art? Art will always be defined as a personalized application. That is the key word. Personalized application of general theoretical principles for achieving the best result. An art discipline is characterized by a number of factors or characteristics. Number one is the practical knowledge. Every art will require practical knowledge. Therefore, learning of the theory is not sufficient, but it is very important to know the practical application of the theoretical principle. It is very important to know the practical application of the theoretical principle. Maybe I give an example. Like if you want to become a good painter, then you may not only be knowing the different colors and the brushes, but you must also know the different design and dimensions, situations, etc. So you need to have the practical knowledge. A manager can never be successful by just obtaining a degree or a diploma in management, but you must know how to apply those various principles and read situations by functioning at that level of a manager. Then we have the personal skill. What do we mean? Although the theoretical base may be the same for every artist, but each has his or her own style and approach towards his or her job. For you to be a successful manager, you require to have your own personalized skill. Every manager has his own way of managing things based on his knowledge, experience, personality, and that is why some managers are known as good managers, while others are known as bad managers. The other characteristic is creativity. Every artist has an element of creativity in a line. That is why when we aim to produce something that has never existed before, we require a combination of intelligence and imagination. Therefore, managers require to be creative. They require their human and non-human resources in a useful way so that they can be able to bring on board this creativity. The other characteristic is perfection through practice. Managers practice makes a man perfect. Practice makes a man perfect. Every artist will become more and more proficient through the constant practice. For you to be a perfect manager, you must practice management over a period of time. The other characteristic is goal-oriented. Every art results in goals. Management is always goal-oriented. Managers will always use various resources like men, money, material to promote the growth of an organization. So, is management an art or is it a science? We can say that management, therefore, is an art, and therefore it requires application of certain principles. Management is an art. But again, it may not be an exact art. So, is management both a science and an art? That is the other question. Is management both a science and an art? From what we have discussed, the management as a science and then management as an art, it is very clear that management combines the features of both the science and an art. Management is considered a science because it has the organized body of knowledge which contains certain universal truths. We have already agreed there are some principles. And it is always good I mention this, read and find out the 14 principles of management by Henry Fayol. The 14 principles of management by Henry Fayol. So because of those 14 principles of management, we can say that at that point management is a science. But again, management will also require our own personalized skills. And therefore, it becomes the art. The science will provide the knowledge, and the art will deal with the application of knowledge and skills. And for a manager to be successful in his or her profession, he must acquire the knowledge of science. You require the knowledge. So that is the science part. But again, you also require the art of applying that knowledge. You also require the art of applying that knowledge. So, management is both a science and an art. You require the knowledge, that is the science part, and also you need to know the art of how to apply. Is management a profession? Is management a profession? What is a profession? A profession is an occupation that requires specialized knowledge and intensive academic preparation, to which entry is regulated by a representative body. Over a large few decades, some factors into the growing size of business unit, maybe the separation of ownership from management, have led to an increase in demand for professionally qualified managers. So a profession is that occupation which requires someone to have the specialized knowledge, intensive academic preparation, to which entry is regulated by a representative body. Which entry is regulated by a representative body. So is management a profession or not? What are the characteristics of a profession? For any discipline to be called a profession, what are the characteristics? Number one, the specialized knowledge. A profession must have a development of, must have knowledge. It must have a systematic body of knowledge so that it can be used for the development of that profession. So, for the management to be a profession, we need to find out, does it have a systematic body of knowledge? Yes, we already agreed that it has a systematic body of knowledge. The second characteristic is the formal education and training. The formal education and training. There are a number of institutes and universities to impact education and training for professionals. No one can practice a profession without going through a prescribed course. Just like the way lawyers, the way like doctors, they go to school, even the teachers, they carry out a certain course so that they can be teachers. What of management? Do we have institutions? Do we have colleges that impact knowledge on managers? The third characteristic is the social obligation. Social obligation. Profession is a source of livelihood, but professionals are primarily motivated by the desire to serve the society. Their actions are influenced by social norms and values. Then we can even say similarly, even management or a manager is responsible not only to its owners, but also to the society. Even managers are responsible to the society. The other characteristic is the code of conduct. The members of a profession have to abide by a code of conduct, which contain the certain rules and regulations. Remember, the code of conduct will contain the rules and the regulations, the norms that every member must abide by. Does management have the code of conduct? There is a question mark. The other characteristic, which is the representative association. For the regulation of the profession, there must be a representative body. There must be a representative body. Just like the way teachers, they have their representative body, the nurses, they have their representative body, the doctors, they have their representative body. What of management? Do they have the representative bodies? If it is the accountants, do they have their representative body? What of the marketers? What of the operations managers? What of the human resource managers? Do they have their representative body? So from the above discussion, it is quite clear that management fulfill several essentials of a profession, meaning to some extent, management is a profession, even though it is not a fully fledged profession, because it does not restrict the entry in a managerial job. There is no minimum qualification for you to be prescribed in management. All managers are supposed to abide by some code of conduct. Competent education and training facilities do not exist, and so to some extent, management is a profession, though it is not a fully fledged or a fully developed profession. But management is growing, and management is also developing to become a profession. Good. Importance of management. Is it really important to us? Yes. Management will help us in achieving the group goals. What do we mean? Management will arrange the factors of production, assembles and organize the resources. It will integrate the resources in effective manner so as to accomplish the goals. Therefore, we can say that management will direct the group effort towards accomplishing the predetermined goals. At the beginning, we had said that the essence of management is to make sure that we are able to accomplish that work that should be done so that we can achieve the goal of the organization. If there is proper management, then it means there would be no wastage of time, money, and effort. So always management will help in achieving the group goals. Number 2, management will help in optimum utilization of resources. What do we mean? Management will utilize all the physical resources, the human resources productively. It will provide maximum utilization of the scarce resources in the best way possible so that we can reduce any wastage. Management will also help the organizations to reduce cost. Once we are able to get the maximum result through minimum input by proper planning, and by using the minimum input, we get the maximum output. Management will help us to get the maximum input by using the minimum input, and so we become efficient and effective. The other importance is management will help us to establish sound organizations. What do we mean by sound organization? It is very clear. We'll be able to avoid what we call overlapping of effort, or we will be able to have smooth and coordinated functions of the organization. There will be no duplication, no overlapping, and everything will be carried out smoothly. Then the other importance of management, it is establishment of equilibrium. Management will help us to establish equilibrium in that it will help the organization to survive in the changing environment. It will help us to keep in touch with the changes in the environment. Management will always help the organization to adapt to the changes from the environment. We can also say that through management, the organization will be able to prosper in the society. Efficient management will lead to better economic production, which in turn will help to increase the welfare of the people. When there is good management, it means that the organization will perform in terms of even the productivity, and that will also have a trickle-down effect on the welfare of the society in large. Management will lead to human betterment and social justice. Again, when there is proper management, it means that employees will benefit, will have their own benefit, and the society will also benefit. They will be able to get the products that are made by the organization. The social injustices will be eliminated. The other importance is getting maximum results with minimum efforts. I had already mentioned that about being efficient and effective. Those are the two terms in management which are very critical that every student must be able to understand. That management will always lead to efficiency and effectiveness. Find out what exactly do those ones mean. Because as a manager, you need to be effective, and at the same time, you need to be effective. So that is the end of our lesson. For more lessons on various disciplines in management, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel with the name Florence Willie. God bless you.